for now. So government has to do that.
Absolutely. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. Now, for internally displaced persons, shelter is only the first step to recovery, but dignity, safety, and humane conditions are equally essential. In Benue State, displaced residents from the Yelwata community in Guma local government area are expressing frustration over their living conditions at the International Market IDP camp in Makurdi. Fleeing coordinated attacks by suspected armed herders, the residents have now taken to the streets in protest, blocking major roads around George Akume Way. The message is clear. They feel abandoned and mistreated. The demonstrations highlighted deepening humanitarian concern and a plea for immediate government intervention. These people ran away from, escaped from the coordinated attacks, and now they are I mean, what could have led to this thing? Is it poor food delivery? Is it diversion of relief? Or is it just administrative failure?
Well, when the president went there some days back, the directive he gave was for provision to be made for them.
Exactly.
But one other part of it that was not adequately reported was that even the president couldn't get to that camp. Bad road. So, it's a huge problem. And when you look at the road infrastructure in the country, because sometimes we may also need to talk about the governors, most of our roads are federal roads. It's just one of the downsides of the neglect of roads in this country, and which government is trying to do something about. But it's always been the argument, and it will remain, that government can't fix all the roads at once. And it is raining now. I don't know if you saw the video in which the presidential convoy got caught up. So even if you have all the goodies to deliver to that camp, there's no access.
How will it get there?
So it means, essentially now, there must be a move to use helicopters, hoping that they will be able to land there. Because it's not a place where you can say, let's put boats in the water. So it's a major issue to tackle now, because the rain is going to come more based on predictions. So if nothing gets to these people now, and the intensity of the rain gets, I mean, the intensity, there is more intensified rain, then these people are going to go hungry for a very long time. How do you pass, even when it's available now, how do you pass it down to them? It's a major issue.
It's a major one.
We must consciously always consider some of these things when they are being reported. Our road is bad. We don't know what is going to come next. Like we've always said, for me, we are a blessed country. No natural disaster. This is just this small rain that we see. What if we have a tsunami? What happens? Then we are in trouble. Huge trouble.
Okay, Mayor.
To me?
He's talked about bad roads. But who should be held responsible for this?
The governor of the state is the incompetence of the governor of the state.
Is it NEMA, Benue State government?
No, it is the Benue State government.
The Benue State government.
Let me tell you something. The primary duty of government is protection of life and property. In the first place, they have failed in that duty of protecting the people of those local governments in Benue State. Okay, we can say that the government was helpless, it's terrorism, herdsmen, and all that. Okay, you couldn't protect these people. Because you couldn't protect them, they became refugees
in their
land. And then you have to put them in IDP camps. Why is it that the government of that state will not be responsible enough to know that they are supposed to provide for people, your people, that for one, they have been displaced from their own state, and then they are now in IDP camps, and you cannot provide the basic things that they need in that camp. That the road to that ID camp is bad should not be an excuse.
So you don't see that as an excuse?
I will tell you why it is not an excuse. Sir. It is because our governors, a lot of our governors, we don't ask questions of our governors. Every point in time, everybody keeps talking about federal government, We don't talk about our states. A lot of our governors, not all of them, but a lot of our governors are so irresponsible, and they are not competent enough to even govern their state. Because why I'm saying so is that if you know that your people have suffered irreparable damage by terrorists and herdsmen and all that, and they were now living in IDP camps as a result of that, and then the road to that ID camp is not good, why is it that the governor of that state cannot fix that road? Why will you say that it is a federal government road when you know that the people that you have taken yourself, you took them to the IDP camp? You understand? And the road to that IDP camp is not good. And common sense didn't tell you were supposed to fix that. Then two, when you provide emergency things, NEMA will come. NEMA is supposed to provide emergency relief for people that suffer such things. But they don't have the wherewithal to continue to do it perpetually. Okay. They don't have that wherewithal. So it is the duty of the governor of that state who took those people to the IDP camps in the first place to be able to provide for things for them. Our governors collect huge amount of money as security votes. What do they do with those security votes? Because this issue is a security issue, because these people were attacked and they were displaced, and you put them in IDP camps, and you cannot provide basic things that you have there. You cannot just go and drop people in one IDP camp and they don't have, abandon them there. They don't have food. They don't have enough things to live well in that place. Things that they were used to, things that they were providing for themselves before they were displaced. Why should it be too much of a governor to be able to do that?
You know, I don't understand. Some governors might want to say, "Oh, I don't want to touch federal because they might not pay us back."
Well, that's one aspect. But what he has said is completely valid. Because, like I said earlier, we don't know when we are going to have a disaster to contend with. We must always prepare ourselves as if something is coming. But governance, we have turned it into, when we use the football language, a defensive tactic. We only react when the opponent comes to us. We should always be on the offensive.
Exactly.
We should always be on the offensive. For instance, when you read what the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said yesterday, you know that that terrain is bad. No connection in terms of road network.
Because and there's a government in that.
And that's one of the reasons why those deployed, despite the fact that he said they went to a wrong location, because of a wrong intelligence, they couldn't even quickly assess where they were going to go to. It's the same thing that happens in other states too, where they say the terrain is bad. But the government should be able to do certain things, put certain things in place.
How can we prevent this from being like a recurring decimal? Because if you remember in Mokwa, there was an issue, something like, I'm not sure they protested, but there was issue of shelter, there was issue of food.
It's always like that most times. And that's why I always recommend governors should be humble enough. Go and learn from who has done it before. Baba Gana Zulum is still there.
He's there.
How did he do it?
That's an example. That's a very valid example.
They should go and ask him.
That's a very valid example.
We should not.
His own case is even worse.
His own case is worse.
There's serious terrorism there.
We should not always look for training in the UK, in the US, you know, things that can bring money to people. They should practical things. Go to Baba Gana Zulum and ask him questions. He's fixing things. Is ensuring that nobody is in the IDP camp perpetually, for long.
Yes.
Moving them back home.
When they secure a place, they will go there and try to put things in place, and then you will now encourage people to go back to their home. That's why it should be. A governor should know, and they are collecting more money since this removal of subsidy. A lot of governors are collecting huge amount of money.
So they have
and my own argument is that if your people are displaced, and you put them in an IDP camp, you should know that the responsibility of taking care of them should be your own. You should not depend that NEMA will come and take care of them. NEMA can provide the basic things. You have to start taking them there. But making sure that there's a ministry, there are a lot of the government agencies in that state that should be able to take care of those people. And when you know that, oh, the road to that place is not good, you can fix it. You can make it more tolerable.
Palliative.
Yes, you can make it more tolerable to get there. It's just that our leaders don't care. Whether the way they don't care or they don't know what to do. Because how can you put people in IDP camp and it will be big deal for you to take care of them? How many people are there that you'll be able to take care of them?
All right, talking about humanitarian aid. Now, since this matter happened, you know, putting them in IDP camps, how will you assess the humanitarian response so far? From the federal government to the state government, how will you assess it?
Well, not so much report has come now from all of these areas now, Benue specifically, except this protest. So we don't know if it's not getting to them, then there is really nothing to assess because it means it's war. Because here on this side, in the state capital, you have the materials to give to them. But on the other side, they can't receive it because the road is bad. So there should be something that should be done urgently.
Okay.
Otherwise, this protest will continue. And it can't get worse.
It can't get worse. Your thoughts?
It's important for our government to show empathy. When your citizens are going through a lot, it's your duty to give them hope, to give them reassurance that you are with them. You understand their pains. You understand what they are going through. Allowing people that have been displaced to come on the street and be protesting that they are not taken care of or complaining of hunger and those things, to me, is the delegation of duty. Delegation of duty, because the government now, not the governor, but the government, because there are different agencies within that state that is saddled with taking care of things like that. So it is the government of the state can do better than what they are doing now. To me, they've not done well enough. If they have done well enough, these people will be on strike. So that means they've not done well enough. Whatever they have done is not enough. That's what it means.
I mean, I heard someone, I was having a conversation with someone say, oh, they protested. That is there another way they could have maybe reached out to the government instead of going all out to protest?
It's when you get to a point where you are
blocking
frustrated.
The highway and all. Is there?
It's when you get to a point where you are frustrated that such things happen. And that's why I'm saying, see, it's time for them to map out other strategies. Even if you need to use a chopper to get there, please do so. Because I think, or I know, that the National Emergency Management Authority has
I've seen things whereby choppers, they drop
just go there,
food or something.
Go and do something. The Nigerian Air Force can help.
Exactly.
Even the Nigerian Army has a very vibrant air wing now. So they should all collaborate and make things happen.
Absolutely.
You know, the way it is now, there is no way anybody can fix any road now with the rain.
Okay. Yeah. But our heart goes out to the people of Benue State. I just hope that things will just... There'll be some level of peace and stability there. We need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. Still journalists hang out.